I'm moving. I hope I am moving. Hello, we have that subject that people don't like to talk about much for the day. Everybody is used to the thumbnail. The thumbnail poses the question. Let's hope we can have the discussion that maybe we want to have today. Who knows? So we're going to try to have that discussion, if we can, today. Right? Somebody said to me the other day, and hopefully you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you put in the chat if you can hear me? Wait a minute. Put in the chat if you can hear me, okay? Let's hope you can hear me just fine. Let's hope you can hear me just fine. And that'd be fine. That would be amazing if everybody could hear me. Okay. Somebody asked me the other day, and they put it in the chat. In the chat, they said, Black people keep racism going. Hello, John. They said Black people keep racism going. That's what they said in the chat to me. So I decided, okay, hi, Ricardo. So I decided, let's see if we could open up the chat and find out. Because I'm interested to know. Do Black people keep racism going in America? Yes. Do they? Someone said that to me. And I said to myself, in order for this to be answered, I would say, one, whether that's true or not. Two, what someone who says it probably means. So I wanted to know what people meant. This person said it right before I got offline. Hey, Ricardo. Right before I got offline, this person said this. They said, you Black people keep racism going. And I assumed, and I made this assumption that they meant when someone, and I'll open up the phone lines because I want to hear people talk. I want to hear what people got to say. What you got to say to this? When someone says Black people keep racism going, they usually blame Black people for reminding the country about race, protesting, pointing out discrimination, or insisting on race-specific remedies. And they interpret those actions as keeping race alive or escalating the conflict. That framing treats race and resistance as the cause rather than a response to the real harms. It's a form of victim blaming. It shifts responsibility away from the systems and actors that created and enforced racial inequality. But I don't know. And that's why I wanted to open up the phone line, because I wanted to hear, what does that mean? Before I got off the live, the person said, no, you Black folks keep race alive. I want to hear why. But I want you to put it in I want you to call, make a phone call so everybody can hear it. Everybody can call and find out what's going on. What do we mean? Because Charlie Kirk said race didn't matter anymore. They said race didn't matter anymore. Okay? But do people actually understand why it does matter to a certain extent? Do you read the chat? Yeah, I read the chat. But I'm not going to read a question. Please hit the like button, super chat. If you want a specific serious question, please super chat the answer. That's $2, $5, whatever. Right? So I don't know. So I really want Hello, Dwayne. So I really want white people, Asian people, whoever, to come up and explain to me. As I was getting off the live the other day, the person said, you black people keep slavery going or racism going in this country. And I was like, huh? Do we really do that? You know, I by no means, I'm not racial. I don't have that kind of ill will in my heart at all. I understand racism. I understand the race, how people interpret it. I understand that. But I want to hear. That's why I opened up the phone lines for people to come up and say whatever they wanted to say. Princess, or we just be respectful when we do it. Let me know exactly what am I missing here. You can come up on the panel. You can click the link. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to click the link. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to put the link in the chat right here. Okay. So if you want to, I can click the link and you can come up. You won't be visible, but we can hear your voice, right? And you'll be able to explain that way. Hello, Princess. Okay. You can come up and explain. And there's no judgment. I'm not cussing anybody out. I'm not calling anybody names. I'm not any of those things. I just want to hear. Because I was shocked when the person said, you guys keep it going. I was shocked. Because I was like, really? Do we as black people, we keep it? Why do we keep going? But I understand what racism is, and I understand. And then I was reading about the things that Charlie Kirk said. He said, civil rights should never have happened. Well, what do you mean by civil rights should never have happened? Civil rights is the ending of segregation. It ended the segregation, separate water fountains, separate bathrooms. It ended all of that. This is the phone number for this. This is the phone number for this particular broadcast. This is just a regular business phone. Anybody can call this phone. Okay, anybody can call this phone. Hey, A Dirt. Okay, anybody can call this phone and then ask the question. Answer the question. Get a question answered. I can smell your bullshit through the phone. Good. I mean, you must be having some superpowers, bro. Your superpowers must be hella out of there, for real, for you to smell bullshit through the phone. I can smell your bullshit through the phone. Hello, Nick. Hello, Nick. Sit back and listen, or delete or depart, or however you need to do it, sir. Right? But this is people who want to actually have a conversation. Instead of being guilt tripped into it or angry into it. I don't know who the fuck y'all are. Y'all don't know who I am. We just having a conversation of grown adults. People who want to have a conversation. If you don't want to have a conversation, you don't have to. Hey, Bear. Like, subscribe, keep scrolling, however you guys want to. I just want somebody to have a conversation. You can click the link if you want to. Say 2 or 3 minutes, and then you just done with the 2 or 3 minutes. And say what you want. This is just you say what you want to say, and then you can hop off. You ain't got to live on the phone. You don't have to live on here. But my thing is this. The person said to me when I was about to jump off, she said, black people keep it going. And I said, you have to understand the context of race relations. If you didn't know the context of race relations, it would just be like, okay, I wasn't born in that time, so I don't know. If you ain't born in that time, you weren't born in that, then you have no idea what racism was like. And most people don't know what racism is like. Except people who know the difference between now and then. Sort of like me, people my age know the difference between now and then. People as young as Charlie Kirk didn't know the difference between now and then. Did they know the full context of Jim Crow laws? Okay. Because did you know the full context of those? We don't know. Did you want to know the full context of those? This is why I opened up the phone lines. I didn't hear you. Shut the fuck up. Cap cut clips from kids. Are you talking to me, Cap cut? Are you talking to me? Because we want a mature conversation. We don't want child's play in here. And we don't want childish people in here. If you're going to be childish, there's plenty of childish programs that you can find on here. But you got to at least be under 18. I'm assuming that you're under 18 because only a child will walk into a room and say this. That makes no sense. Okay? That makes no sense. And you don't bother me one lick. Fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. Yeah, no, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. You're probably ugly. Did you think so? You think the Jews killed? You think they did? We never know until we get the final reports. But then again, I don't trust what these people have to say. I don't trust the government. I gave up on trusting the government. I gave up on them when they decided they were going to lie to us poor people. When they decided they were going to lie to us poor people, I gave up on the government. Specifically, this government. Specifically, when they decided they were going to hide the Epstein files. I gave up on this particular government when they decided they were going to hide the Epstein files. Okay? And we're still demanding the Epstein files. So we never know what these people have done. Okay? We never know. And so we open up the conversation for anything people want to talk about race related. Nobody had a problem. Nobody had a problem with Charlie talking about race. Nobody had a problem with him talking about race. Nobody had a problem standing behind Charlie and talking about race. Now nobody wants to stand behind Charlie and talk about race. I'm not going to cuss you out. I just want to hear the point of view. Do we just continue to keep race up? Do we just continue to keep go on and on like we're doing? Unless we want to face it, unless we want to clear it up, unless we want to get rid of it? Because it's not going to go away unless you all face it or talk about it or whatever. And I believe the person who told me black people keep up race in this country, the person who was sincere in their belief. I was just trying to get clarity because the person left before I would have a chance to even talk to the person. They left. They put it in the chat. And then they didn't understand I was the least harmful person who wanted to fight about this conversation. I wanted to have this conversation. I wanted people to have this conversation. I wanted people to be able to express themselves and say exactly what is going on, except I didn't need to say it the way Cap Cut seems to express himself. I can't deal with children, right? I have to deal with adult conversation, not childlike conversation. And you know what, Straight Jacket? I also thought it was a professional hit. I don't know why, but I thought it was a professional hit when it first happened. Because that boy would not have gotten caught. He would not have gotten caught if he would not have told his parents. If he would not have told anybody, he would not have gotten caught. He would have got away with Charlie. He could have cleaned up a lot of stuff. Cleaned up the gun. He could have kept the gun. He could have did all of that. How stupid was it for him to drop the gun in the woods or whatever he did with the gun? I don't know what he did with the gun. Why did he drop it in the woods? Okay. Why did he have such an aversion to Charlie? Why was he angry with Charlie? Okay. I see you get it to work. Yeah, I got to work, I think. Thank you, Sale. Thank you. Thank you, Sale. Cap cut. That's ridiculous. Stop. We're having a conversation, adult conversation. I want the question answered. I want people to come up. Thank you, Sale. Thank you. I want people to come up, and then I want the conversation with you guys. This is not a hostile environment. This is a neutral environment. This is a very neutral environment. We want people to feel free to express whatever they need to express. As I said, this person pushed this question or posed this question to me right before I got off the live last night, and I wanted an answer from someone. And I have the phone lines open, and I have the panel link open for anybody who wants to come up or anybody who wants to call and say, hey, this is what I think. Okay. This is what I think. And I can only surmise why. I can only think of why. Far left, Antifa killed Trump. Trump is not dead, son of Cole. What do you mean? Trump is not dead. Unless he died in the last half an hour, Trump is not dead. What are you talking about? Wait a minute. Did I miss some news or something? What? Come on. He's not dead. So give a call, Soul of Cool. Soul of Cool. Okay. Try to kill autocorrect. Try to kill autocorrect. I don't know exactly what that means. Try to kill autocorrect. What exactly? Okay. Explain it if you can. Charlie was Soul of Cool. Can you read? I did say Soul of Cool. That's what you got up there, right? Soul of Cool. I read just fine. I've been reading since I was 3 years old. I can read just fine. And English is my first language. Is it yours? Okay. So Trump is not. So get glasses. Don't you see I have glasses on? I don't know how you pronounce that. Okay. Only I know that if you tell me. The fuck? And don't you see me with glasses on, dingbat? So my whole thing is this. Cap cut. Son. Suck your ping. I'm gonna, okay. You and Son of Cool should get along just fine then, if you like to suck ping. Yeah. We have is this our first phone call? We get to be respectful. Nice. Hello.
I'm a subscriber.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Yes, hello? Hello? You gotta speak. You gotta call back. I'm sorry. You gotta call back. I'm sorry. The left loves murder. So does the right. The right loves to take freedom of speech away. They like to destroy the Constitution. I don't know why. People on the right love to see it. I call you. You tried to call. If you called me, I couldn't hear you at all. Okay. Yeah, you do. You love to destroy. You love to kill the Constitution. You love it. Everything about the Constitution. This president is destroying the Constitution. You guys love him. If you guys see, and that's how that sounds to me. He came up and he said, what did he say? We love murder. Okay, then the right loves to destroy the Constitution. First Amendment rights, that's amazing. what they're trying to do with the First Amendment rights. If they don't like what you say, you guys were fine with what Charlie was saying. You guys were fine with what Charlie was saying. Now other people are talking, so you don't like what they say. So now you want to cancel those people. What?
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello? Hello? You got to speak.
Call from.
Hello?
To accept, press 1.
Okay. Yes, canceling people is your First Amendment. That's why I said the people on the right love to just cancel the amendments of the Constitution, and they like to destroy those. You want to get rid of number one. Number one is freedom of speech. Number two is the gun laws. You don't care about the gun laws. You don't care whether children get broke off or not. So you don't care about that. 5, 14, 16. You don't care about there. Yeah, I know. So you're canceling free speech. So you guys don't care about the Constitution? Not at all.
En tiempo real.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Hello.
Hey. Hi.
Hey.
And are you?
Fine, thanks.
Hello?
Hi, hello? Oh, hold on. I think I got two. Wait a minute, hold on. We can only have one at a time. Hello? Something is going on. What's going on? Okay. Wait a minute. Call back. Whoever it was, call back. Cause you were fuzzy, and then I really didn't hear you, and I thought you were joking. I'm sorry. Call back, whoever you were. Call back, whoever you were. I thought you were joking because I didn't hear you really well. Please call back. I got it now. We got it now. Okay. No, you guys can. I heard that you canceled Jimmy Kimmel. I woke up to that today. Why would you cancel him? He didn't say anything other than what Charlie said. You guys didn't want to cancel Charlie. So if you didn't want to cancel Charlie, you shouldn't. Man. Okay. Hello? 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 I can hear. Oh, shoot. What the heck happened? Something happened. I don't know what's going on with the phone. Hold on. No, he didn't say anything out of ordinary. I heard him. I heard the speech. He didn't say anything weird. Hold on. Let me make sure we got this connected correctly. Cause wait a minute. Let's make sure we got everything connected correctly. Hold on. Cause the phone lines are open, Royce. And it keeps kicking you out or something. I don't know. Okay. Hold on. Here we go. Yes, I understand free speech exactly. You all don't seem to understand free speech. And what Jimmy Kimmel and what Charlie Kirk said was free speech. So you guys are trying to cancel Kimmel for the same thing. Okay. So somebody try it one more time, please and thank you. Yes, he would, and the same thing with Charlie. You have no free speech at work. That's the whole point of his comedic Jesus. That was the whole point of his comedic shtick. He can have free speech. that was supposed to be built into his contract. Why wasn't it built into his contract? And he would have the freedom to say whatever he wanted to say. Okay. And he blamed it on MAGA. Okay. Sure did. But the whole point is he has the right to say that, but you don't have the right to get him fired for saying that. You didn't have the right to get him. Okay, can I hear you? Can you hear me now? Okay. Hello. This is HQ. Hi. Hello. You answer. Can you guys hear her in the chat, please? Please let me know if you can hear her in the chat. What? And then she hung up. Wow. Yeah, that seems to be yeah. You guys heard her in the chat. Okay. So the whole point was he got fired, and you guys don't stand up to your you guys don't stand up to your constitution. It is what it is. Yeah, she hung up because did you guys hear her though? No, I'm absolutely sure. I'm absolutely sure that the free speech doesn't mean no consequences. Absolutely. But the whole point is you don't believe in free speech. A government, a government centering, yeah. That's why I think you're mentally ill, Rugu. My whole point was he was free to say what he needed to say. Yes, I heard the girl. Okay, thank you. And he was free to say whatever. We got kids. I don't know what the hell's going. Hello? No, the question is on the thumbnail. Before I got off the live yesterday, someone said black people keep racism going in America, and I encourage people to call in today and explain to me exactly what that person meant. Okay. Right. So why do you think? But why would they? They say it keeps it going in America. It shouldn't keep going, or we shouldn't be reminded of. We should just forget about race. Is that what you're saying? Do you understand why people? Do you understand why people or black people feel like it won't ever go away? Mm-hmm. 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 I mean, I'll try. Can I explain it in a couple sentences? I think this is why. Just for example, I'm going to give you an analogy and just picture it. You know how when you go through a fence and you live on a farm and you open up the fence and you let the cows or let the bulls through. You open the fence really wide and you let them through, and they're free to go through that fence, right? Black people feel like you only open one gate for them. And if you only open and if you only open one gate for them, and you understand that there's only one gate, why is it that white people won't open up the other gate? No, if it's built into the system, how do we open the gate? So do you understand that they used to have Jim Crow laws, and they used to have that kind of thing? Not used to. I'm sorry, not used to. So I'm saying some of those things, yeah, some of those like policing, or we have the people. You are old enough to understand that if sometimes when a white person does something and then a black person does something for the same crime, the black person gets sentenced more harshly. You've been around long enough to understand that. So those kind of things are still in place. Those are Mhm, 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 right. So why is it that everybody is so angry? So why is it that when Charlie passed away and he was shot and Charlie passed away, why did the HBCUs get threatened? Right? But I'm saying the HBCUs ended up getting threatened. Why did they get the brunt of this? And it wasn't a black person at all that was in charge. Did anything to Charlie? Hmm. I mean, black people are we standing around trying to figure out, well, why did they threaten the SBCU? I mean HBCU. We didn't have nothing to do with Charlie getting shot. Most of us didn't even know who Charlie was. From the people that I talk to, because these young people be online like this. Us older people, I'm assuming you're over the age of 45, 50. Us older people ain't online like that. We only got forced to be online. Most of us were. Oh, you sound older. You sound older. Uh, and I'm saying it's like it's like I didn't know who Charlie was. I didn't know nothing about no Charlie. Why y'all asking me about Charlie, right? And I was like, well, I don't know what do you think. So I'm saying young people went to school, were online, were a part of whatever Charlie was going on. So I get that they would know, but it's the older people that don't have any idea. So I turned around and I was like, well, why would you threaten the HBCUs? And we didn't know no Charlie. I didn't know Charlie or you know that's the college. It's the college, the historically black colleges of the United States. Those are the HBCU. When somebody says HBCU, those are the historical black colleges that were, I guess, named after you know uh famous black people. I guess I'm not really sure how they came about, but they were all the eight of them were threatened with bombing. Okay, and I was like, the day after he got shot, eight of those were threatened with a bombing, with a with I don't know. And I was like, wait a minute. nobody black didn't. We didn't know Charlie. We didn't know him at all. Not like that. To be threatened like that. So that's what I'm saying. We this is not a black person, but we didn't know anything about Charlie, and a lot of people, you know. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Right. And I was hoping that wasn't the case. That was hoping none of that happened. But now you guys got a problem. On for you guys are having a war of your own now because Charlie was one of you guys. Now there's a problem on you. You guys are fighting. Christian and regular secular people, they're all here fighting. That's my understanding is that now it's a fight like that on the left and the right. Mhm, 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 mhm. Right, right. And I tell people And I tell people the same thing. I'm like, we don't hate white people. We don't. We just know that there are systems in place that those gates are closed or they're halfway closed. And then we get angry with the people who recognize that the gate is halfway closed, but they don't try to open the gate up, all the way up. So if you're not really familiar with systematic racism, you would know what I was talking about. I was trying to give an analogy where you could sort of picture in your mind what I was saying, right? And that's how we feel. We with half the gate is open, but the other half is closed, and we aren't able to open it up. Only white people they run most of the systems and most of the places and are in charge of most of the places here in the United States. They're able to knock down that gate. They're able to open up that second gate, but they see it, but they don't attempt to open it up because they don't feel like it's either they feel like it's not one there or they're not able to open it up or whatever. And those are the people that black people are angry with. You see that it's systematic. You see that that gate is continuously shut for black people, and then you don't open it up. It's not that we hate white people, not at all, because we have no reason. Hmm. 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 Absolutely, absolutely. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Absolutely. But see, if you may be young, you may be too young to understand. But the older generations, they understand. It was a gap. It's a gap between housing, disproportionately black people going to prison, staying in prison, the three all different. It's just all different gates. It's all different gates. Okay. It's not just one gate. It's not just one thing that's held closed. It's many gates to many different things, and only it's something that some people see and some people don't. But if I apply for a job, because I know you've seen this, heard of this study that happened where a white man went in to get an apartment and they told him they took no a black man went in to get an apartment, and then they told him that the apartment wasn't available, and then they told him they told him the apartment cost $2,000, and then when a white guy went in right behind him, they told him it was available, and they told him it didn't cost 2,000. They told him it was cheaper than that. So there's been studies like No, they had to say they it was a study. It was a study that was conducted. They both graduated from Harvard, or Columbia. They both made the same amount of money. They both they were like co-workers. So they were co-workers, so they made around the same amount of money. They did the same, they dressed similar, they did all of these things, and the black guy, when it's studies conducted that showed this, so it told us that it was still a systematic racist thing that was going on when it came to housing, like in some housing neighborhoods. Like I live in a very beautiful neighborhood, but comparable, with me having a 3-bedroom 3-bath, comparable in a neighborhood that has more white people, their houses would be 400,000 or 500,000, and my house is only priced at 350. But we live in similar neighborhoods. These are the systematic things that I'm talking about. It's not something that you actually see. You have to consciously look for it. What is the topic? The topic is, the question is on the thumbnail. The question is on the thumbnail. It says, black people keep racism going. So we want you to call in and or get on the panel. You won't be pulled up on the panel where people see you. Yeah, I will just hear your voice. That's the topic of the night, right? And so these are things that are put in place, and they've done studies because of it. So that's how we know, that's how people know that there is still systematic racism that's been put in place. Mhm. Right, right. And they're right there. Hold on, stay right there. That's discrimination, sir. That's discrimination against you. No, no, that's illegal. That's illegal. But I'm saying to you that that's illegal. If you specifically know that, like, if you went in and she said no, you can't get the apartment, and then a person came right behind you who was Mexican, who had the same stuff as you, same background, same money, same income as you, walked in and she said, yes, I'm gonna give you the apartment. That's discrimination against you, sir, and you're a white guy who's being discriminated against. I'm saying that happens to black people all the time. Yes, but I'm saying we have to admit that's a form of discrimination, right or wrong. Mhm, mhm, mhm. And I'm saying to you, it's just not the housing that people. It's just not housing that happens in. It happens in jobs. It happens in prison sentences. It happens in many different forms when that happens. So if that happens in different platforms, that's a discrimination against a certain person, a certain demographic. And I'm saying, mhm, mhm, right. I wish, right, right. And so I'm saying, when people say, well, we don't understand why race is, it's not that black people don't like white people. It's not. We don't have any ill will whatsoever. There's bad people on both sides. There's bad people everywhere. But I'm saying the bulk of us are decent Christian, blah blah, the whole nine, right? So my thing is this: when you see that kind of discrimination happens, we're upset as a people that if you see it, you don't call it out and say, "Hey, we're not gonna tolerate this discrimination. We're gonna be equal across the board." And we just want it to be equal across the board. We don't want to bring it up every 5 minutes, but it's a continuous thing. It's all, that gate is always locked to us. That one half of the opening is locked to us. No, I'm down the middle, independent. Yeah. No, I look at I look at the candidate and I look at their policies. If their policies don't align with what I find important, I don't vote for him. If you vote, I'm a person that believes in helping the handicapped, helping the elderly, helping the disabled, helping the poor. If you don't align with those four things and helping us, helping those people, because you're only as strong as your weakest link. If you're not in line with helping those people, I can't vote for you. Yeah, it might be, but there's still candidates that I wouldn't vote for. I didn't care for Kamala very much, so mm, that's correct. Right, right. And so she failed in that attempt. She failed in that attempt. Okay. Both parties are you see, and that's the coup too. That's the problem. I don't like either party because neither party cares about the poor or the handicapped or the children or any they only care about making money. They only care about lining their pockets. Yeah, but he also cut Medicaid for the elderly and the disabled. So but see the thing is he cut Medicaid for the it's not going to be the welfare queen or the poor black chick or the poor white chick who has children that are going to be affected. It's going to be the disabled and the handicapped and the elderly that's going to be that's going to be affected the most because of this Medicaid getting cut getting cut. So therefore Donald Trump is on my shit list. Right. Hmm. Yeah, but that's stripping away of pop and candy, but that still doesn't take away their food stamps. See, they have children. So the children and so the person, the baby, just for example, the baby mama who has 5, 10 kids, she's not going to be cut off of food stamps. This was people's hope, but she's not going to ever be cut off on food stamps. They're just going to curb her from getting soda. But the people who are going to be cut off on food stamps is the disabled and the elderly and the people in nursing homes. Those are the people that are going to be killed. I hate to say that word, but those are the people that we're going to see uh perish off this earth quicker than a lady who has children. It just yes, absolutely. There's studies that have been conducted. The only thing that changed for a baby mama, the only thing that changed for the baby mama is she has to work 20 hours a week, right? Okay, so that's all she got to do is work 20 hours a week. She's still gonna get food stamps, right or wrong, right? So that's all she has to do is work 20 hours. So what about the disabled? So just take this for example. If Bum Keisha, and I call her Bum Keisha, if Bum Keisha works 20 hours a week, she gonna continue to get her food stamps. So we agree on that, right? So if she works her food stamps and she continues to get her food, she works the job, she continues to work her food stamps. No, it's not 80 hours a week. No, we don't even we as healthy individuals don't work 80 hours a week. Come on. you know? Yeah, right. And then they got overwhelmed, right? They got overwhelmed. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Yeah, but they can't take care of they can't it takes an average of $250, $300 to feed an average kid that's like 6 years old, 7 years old, at $200, $300 a month to feed that kid. So it's still going to take more than a church is able to provide, and that's why the government stepped in. So wait a minute, let me finish my example. Okay, Bum Keisha has the 3 kids. She works her 20 hours. Nobody, they're talking about 80 hours a month, not 80 hours a week, DPD. So 80 hours a month. That's 20 hours a week. Okay, she's going to do that. They already cut X, Y, and Z from the budget. So if the baby mama who got 3 kids is going to get her food stamps, who is going to get cut off the food stamps? What's the next what's the next person that's going to get cut off the food stamps? That only leaves the disabled, the elderly, the handicapped. That only leaves those people that are on food stamps. Right or wrong, I need a confirmation from you. Am I speaking the truth? Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it's like 100. I think that's it. Almost at close. And elderly, but you don't. But elderly and handicapped can't work. So if you cut my Medicaid, my Medicare, my medical, what do I do if you cut my medical? Because Bum Keisha, the baby mama, they're gonna cover the children. They're gonna cover the children. You know how they cut. You know how they cancel the elderly's Medicaid medical. They're gonna cancel the elderly's medical by making them pay for their own medicine instead of putting a cap on their medicines. They're going to have to pay for those medicines now. Instead of being able to go into a nursing home, they won't be able to afford the nursing home. And then they're like there's hospitals around. Hmm? Yeah, but nobody, you don't have any family. Where would you go? Yeah, but there's people that could never take care of themselves. There's elderly people that cripple, mentally gone, handicapped. What do they do? This is who is going to be affected by. They don't have any family. They don't have any family. And then the churches are overwhelmed. And then now we got homeless people. We got homeless vets. Oh, I forgot about that demographic. The veterans. I forgot about that since Trump fired the veterans out of the government. So now the veterans are left with scrambling, trying to find out about their Medicaid, medical, housing. This is dead. This cutting of Medicaid and food stamps is devastating for different groups. They were trying to get fraud. There was no fraud except in the places who accepted the food stamps, because places were accepting food stamps for non related foods. This is where they found the fraud. It was a study done by that Doge, I think it's Doge. They did, yeah, they did a study, and the study found that the fraud and the waste was in the people who accepted the food stamps. That's where the bulk of the fraud was. They accepted the food stamps for stuff like tissue and cigarettes, X, Y, and Z. That's where the fraud was. You can go look up the fraud in the Doge report. That's where the fraud was. It wasn't the people. Don't get me wrong. It was some people who did fraud, but the bulk of the people who did fraud was the people who was accepting the food stamps. And so that's why I'm saying we're going to have a lot of people who are starving, who go homeless out here because this bill cut Medicaid and food stamps off. And just in case you don't understand about the rural houses, the rural hospitals get about 75 to 80% government subsidies to keep the hospital open. So what happens when the farmer cuts his finger off and the hospital that was 20 miles away turns into 200 miles away? Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm. It's lining their pockets. It's lining their pocket. That's the only thing I can think. It's got to be lining their pockets. There's a whole, there's a high overhead for hospital. They got to keep the lights on. They got to have oxygen, backup power. They have a high overhead for hospitals. Okay, technology, all of that. Okay, staffing, specialists, uninsured patients got to be covered. It's a lot of things that got to be covered in the hospital. And I get it that they're overcharging. Okay. And the billing. Oh, I forgot about that. The billing. The billing sometimes places overbill. They overbilled the government, and that was a part of the waste and the fraud. But the waste and the fraud was not Bum Keisha being on food stamps with her two kids. It wasn't them that was committing the fraud. It was the places that billed public aid and build the government. Hmm. 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 This is why we had a this is why I personally had a problem with them cutting the Medicaid and the mega. I was like, why are you punishing the people when it's the people that bill you? You need to do something between them billing you, the practice or the hospitals billing you $20,000 for an operation that only costs five. You need to be investigating that as the government instead of saying right, right, right. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying the Doge investigation found that out, that's what was happening. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. Please call back. Please call back and subscribe and just for other content because I like to post questions at night and then I want people to call in and talk. So have a good night. Have a good night. Hmm. So that was a conversation that we had to get out. That was a good conversation. Then they let all your information. Yeah, yeah. These people are killing us poor folks. They only pay what they want in the hospitals and private side. Yeah, Medicaid. No, the Medicaid and Medicare pass that on to the government. They pass it on to the government. So I'm saying, I was trying to get. We were trying to get into a conversation where why is it that people think black people keep racism going? when that's not the case. We don't keep it going like that. We understand that there's systematic issues with race. I understand that completely. Medicaid, Medicare, and people say, well, they lazy person got to get off that welfare. They got to get. It's not a matter of them being on welfare and being lazy. It's the places that build the government that cost the government a lot of money. Okay. It's they build the government a lot of money, and they're not even really getting or doing those kind of services. But it is what it is, right? So we got to deal with what we got to deal with. So the phone lines are open for people, somebody who wants to call and then answer the question. Black people keep racism going. Why? We haven't had sufficient people to answer that question. Why haven't I had sufficient people to answer that particular question? Why? Because I'm not sure that we even have that issue. Okay? But apparently white folks thinks that's an issue, right? They think it's an issue. But why do you think it's an issue? Why do you think there's a problem with us mentioning race? Okay? We're not sitting here saying victim this and victim that. That's not what people are saying. That's not what people are doing. Okay? Most people are not doing that. Most people understand. Most people get it. And we're not angry with anybody. Okay? We just want that gate. That gate. Private insurance. Yes. Private insurance. So why not make a public option? Why not have a public option? If private insurance raises the insurance for everybody, why not make sure that everybody has a public option, and then it won't cost so much? If everybody has the public option, but everybody is so worried about socialism, we already have socialism. We already have that. So if we already have that, why is it an issue if we already have it? And most people know we already have it. If they just think about it, if you think about it, you know we've already had socialism. Okay? So I'm saying somebody come up and tell me, why is it that you feel that we shouldn't talk about race? What's wrong with mentioning race? And I explained it. I'll explain it again. Just like you letting the gate open, the gates are open. 2 gates. You open the gate, and then people can come into that one gate, or animals can come through that gate. But you still have another gate. So you have 2 gates. Open up both gates, and then everybody is able to get the full benefits of the USA. But USA has 1 gate open and 1 gate closed for Black people. This is what we feel. Like there's 1 gate open and 1 gate is closed. We feel like white people don't want to open the other gate open. You don't want to open the other gate. So therefore, that's why you have the pushback with Black people. Because as though you don't want to open up the other gate so we can come in. And it's not a matter of bringing up race. It's just nobody wants to address that other gate. So if you don't address the other gate, why are you mad at me when I mention the other gate? That's all. We just mentioned the other gate. Hello? 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 Yes. Hi. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Tell me about it, because I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of it that way. Hmm. Right. Right. Hmm. So you, so you thought it, so you, so you're saying that it, you're saying, so what did they do? What are they going to do with this information? Say we believe that. What are they going to do with this information? I'm not saying it's not true. I mean, it could be true. It's a high possibility that it's true. So, but what do you think they're trying to do with it? Peter Seal, isn't that the person that financed JD Vance? Okay. Okay. Mm. Okay. 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 Mm. Mm. Okay. I mean, Doge was kind of fishy because I'm not sure what Doge was actually about. What was the point of Doge? I know that they should not have had access to our personal data. I know they should never have been in our uh, social security information. I do know that. I did hear about them going into that, which we didn't particularly like. So you said it's worse than that. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Okay. Oh, mm, right. Right. Oh, okay. Okay. So Doge was a cover. Doge was just a cover. Mm. Okay. Okay. And once they got all the information that they needed, that's when they disband this Doge thing. Or are the people still there doing the Doge work? I can't remember. Okay. Okay. So they're putting that information together to what? What is the end? What is the end game? What do you think the end game? Mm-hmm. Mm, mm, okay. So you say Doge was a fraud. Doge was fraudulent from the beginning, and they were saying it was just a smoke screen because we never really heard about where did all that money go? Where did all this this extra money or this money they were saving? Where did it go? We never saw any of it. They fired all of these people. They went in and did fraud, waste, and abuse. I don't know where and how. They did, they went through and all the agencies and ended programs, ended money that went to different countries. So why is it that our debt kept going up? Why didn't our debt go down? If they found fraud, if they fired all these people and they saved money from the jobs, they saved money from this, that, and the third. What happened to all that money that was supposed to be saved? Mm-hmm. Resorts, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Not if Donald Trump do it. Donald Trump can get away with a million things, all kinds of things, and they don't have nothing to say about the hypocrisy on that side. They have nothing to say about that. It's all Democrats. Democrats did the Democrats ain't been in charge for almost a year. Anything that doesn't happen is all on Donald Trump. Doge is on Donald Trump, cutting cutting the elderly and the handicapped off of Medicaid and food stamps is all on the Republicans and Donald Trump. They'll pay the price. They gonna pay the price for what they did. Okay, because usually that's how it happens. The party that's in power is gonna lose power. I mean, and if people remember, like the immigrants remember, and the people that are have family that are immigrants and regular, normal, everyday people who couldn't stand this immigration policy the way that it was, they're going to lose their seats. They're going to lose, and if they lose the seat, the House and the Senate, if they lose those, and they deserve to lose them because they should never have cut this information. They should never have cut the elderly and the handicapped off of Medicaid. They deserve to lose them because they said they weren't going to do that, but they did. So if they lose it, Donald Trump will be impeached because I'm pretty sure that'll be the first bill that they put into place. They probably will. I'm just saying that they probably will. That probably will be the first bill because I don't trust this government as far as I can throw them because they've lied to us too much. They've lied about what they were going to do. They lied about what they did. I don't trust that lady who comes out and talks at the podium every morning. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her because I've seen her, half truths and lies every once in a while. Some of her stuff may be truthful, but once in a while, if you lie once or twice or three times to the American people, I can't trust what you say. And I believe you only want to help the rich people. That's all. You just want to help the rich. $1 million. Right, right. Mm. What? Oh, picking up. Okay. Sanitation? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. Mm, a day. To help to for these people to be in the cities, for them to militarily occupy these cities. So what they're doing is they're cleaning the cities. They're not really doing any kind of work. I have to look into that, but if they are, then that's definitely a waste of taxpayer money. Definitely a waste, right? Well, I don't see the point in that. I don't see I understand the inclination for them to have for them to come in and want to run through the neighborhoods. I understand the inclination, but that is not what they're supposed to be for. The military is not supposed to take police our neighborhoods. That's the issue, right? So, what did you have on the topic? This topic, you can give me an answer on this topic too. Did my explanation of racial struggle in this country did that make sense to you? Oh, okay. Well, just to explain it really closely, just like if you lived on a farm and you had a gate, you had two gates that you keep closed for the animals, and you open up the gate wide, both gates, both sides, you open them up, and then people can come through and get housing, get cars, get jobs, don't go to prison unnecessarily, X, Y, and Z. But us black people feel as though you only have one gate open. You have one gate open. We can get through, but there's only one gate that's open and it's always permanently closed. And only white people who understand systematic racism, only white people who can see that there's an issue when I go to the store and when I go to the try to get a mortgage and I can't get the same mortgage as a white person because my name is different, or I get sentenced to a different sentence or a harsher sentence to somebody's white, or people who can see those differences aren't able to change the system. They see them, but they're not able to change the system. But other people pretend like they don't see them, and that's why we have a problem with race in this country, because other white people can't or won't see that second gate is still locked for us black people. Okay. I don't understand that. I guess if I think about it, I can figure it out. They say white privilege. I don't. Oh, they say they don't have white privilege, right? They don't have white privilege, but you do have white privilege because this country was made for you. Wrong or right? This country was made for white males, Christian males. This country was made for you as a white male Christian, and everybody else. don't have everybody else has to prove themselves. You as a white male Christian, you don't have to prove yourself. You can be the most unequipped, uninformed, un illogical human being, and they will still give you the job because you're white. We always have to come with receipts. We always have to come, everybody else has to come with receipts to prove that they're good enough for the job or prove that they're good enough to be X, Y, and Z. Even white women have to come and prove that they're good enough for X, Y, and Z. This country was, and white males, this country was made for white males. They don't seem to understand that that's their privilege. This country was made for you. That's it. Hmm. Right. And people think DEI is black when it's really just people that are not white male. It doesn't include DEI, includes everybody else that's not a white male. That's what DEI includes. Right? Right. Everybody else except the white male. That's what DEI includes. Females, males, Mexican, Hispanics, all that. But yet they benefited from affirmative action. They benefited from DEI. They were the biggest recipients of the DEI and of the affirmative action. White women, okay, because they don't. Yeah, I felt somewhat betrayed when they decided that 53% they were gonna vote for Donald Trump. I felt very betrayed. But here's the thing: you don't get they if you this country was built for white men. You only have to walk into a room and people think you're competent. That is not the case for the rest of us that are not white men. That's what white men don't get. That's it. If you think of that, when you think of why do people like DEI, it's because DEI was meant for everybody else except the white male who doesn't have to prove himself. That is how this is our cabinet. Our cabinet right now, our presidential cabinet, our presidential heads uh, heads of the Jesus, I'm tongue tied. All of those heads are white men, and none of them are competent. But nobody looks at them and say, "Man, you ain't competent enough to lead that." There's no way you think Donald Trump is competent enough to run the government. There's no way you think Cash Patel is competent to run the FBI. There's no way you think Bon Jovi is competent enough to do X, Y, and Z. Okay. This country was built for white men. White women sat at home, had babies, didn't work, couldn't open a bank account, and do all that. This country was not made for women or anybody else except white men. That's what we mean by white men have white privilege. It's white men who have privilege. It's not nobody else but the white men. And nobody can dispute that fact. That's a fact that this country was built on making the white male get ahead in this world. It just is what it is. Women didn't have no power. So this country was not built for women. And black men and immigrants and Asians were slaves. So it wasn't built for them. It was built for the white male. So he does have white privilege. There is a such thing as white privilege. I hate when people say, "Well, Charlie Kirk said we don't there ain't no such thing as white privilege." Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is what it is. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm talking over you. Go ahead. Right. Right. Because if you erase everything, if you erase all the progress that we made, DEI was for women, and white women move the needle. White women benefit the most. So they take DEI away, and now we all got to scrap to figure out jobs, scrap to work here and there and everywhere, because this country is still built and made for white men. Okay. So that's my whole thing. When people say Charlie said there's no white privilege. Yes, it is, because it was no need to, you don't need to do anything. You just walk in the room and you get a job. The rest of us have to prove ourselves. When the rest of us got to prove ourselves, that means we don't have the privilege like white men do. So it is what it is. And I thank you for coming up. I thank you. Please like and subscribe and come up again. Please and thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. So this is what we mean. Okay. X Ryan. It's our privilege to not have to live around gang thugs and the rap music and their saggy. I know you guys can make a whole town for yourself. Ain't nobody stopping you, sir. Ain't nobody stopping you. You guys so much want to coexist with us, but he never thought it's not your color, it's your culture. What culture do you have, sir? You people want so much to coexist with us. That's it. We don't want your culture. We don't want to do anything beyond what we're doing. You stay in your lane and we stay in ours. We don't want saggy. Oh God. This is a conversation I can't have with dumb people. Mr. X, I can't have with dumb people. Call up on the phone. Call up on the phone. Kamala had privileged ICE vice president and then had her abortion bust to kill black mom, infant son of. I don't need Marge. You got to be coherent in order to speak to me. If you're not coherent, I can't speak to you. Okay? The whole world wants to be like the I have the American culture. The whole world wants to be like us. Maybe everything about being a woman is being taken away. Everything about being a woman is being taken away. Our jobs, the bathroom, sports. That's the whole point. The whole point was we see the writing on the wall. I don't understand why I didn't understand why women didn't understand that by letting Donald Trump back in the office, we women were going to lose. Okay? Didn't know what a woman was. Most people don't think about what a woman was. Most people don't. I haven't thought about what a woman is. I don't know what porn is either, but I know it when I see it. Just like I know I can't define what a woman is, but I know a woman when I see it. Marge, get into the game. Marge, get into the game, okay? Jesus, get into the game. Okay? You got to get into the game. You on the slow bus, stop it. Okay? So this is my thing. This world was made for white men. This country, United States, it was. That was the reason why DEI was put into place. So it would help white women, it would help black women, it would help black men, it would help Mexican men, it would help Mexican women. That's why DEI was put into place. DEI helped white women the most. I'm not racist at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I just don't tolerate people talking dumb. You have to have a conversation. I'm willing to have a conversation with anyone. Just don't spout stuff to me. Have a conversation about it. My whole I just told you, I couldn't, if you put me on the spot, I couldn't explain what a woman is. I know it. I just gave you an example. I don't know how to define porn, but I know it when I see it. I don't know how to define a woman, but I know one when I see one. That's as far as I'm going to go. You talk to somebody else about what a woman is. I don't know it. I just know when I see it. Okay. No, the DEI did not flood. The DEI did not open it. You're the one who benefited. The white women benefited the most. So what do you mean? What floodgate? What floodgate? If you benefited the most, it was a floodgate for you to it was a floodgate for you to benefit? What are you talking about? An adult human okay, fine and dandy. That's what a woman is. An adult human female. Have at it. Kudos. You want bananas for that? I don't understand. Why are you telling me about what a woman is? Nobody overused and abused the system. And then I heard that Charlie said something about when he got on the plane, he was worried about whether the person was a black pilot or not. Them the ones that you should be happy that are black pilots. Because a black pilot is only 2%, 3% of the population. Any old white boy could have been flying the plane. Them the ones who have accidents. The black people, who's only 1% of pilots, ain't had no accidents. You should have been happy that it was a black pilot. Y'all wild. You just don't think. The internet has radicalized y'all. Y'all need to get off the internet. Okay? You shouldn't care about their color. You shouldn't care about it. That's the whole point. You shouldn't care about it. But inherently, you think because somebody's of a different color that they're less than. You're the one that cares about color. So if you inherently think that they're less than because of their color, you're the one who cares about color. Nobody else cares about color. You do. That's wild to me. That you don't recognize what you are. Hello? Yes, hello? Yeah, I can hear you clearly. You're like son of cool, you're lying to yourself. You're the one who came up here and said some racist statements. You're the one who came up here and said started talking crazy when you walked into the room about color, about X, Y, and Z. You're the one who did that. Yes, racist and stupid. You are both of those. How can I help you? Now, hold on. Who crashed out? I haven't crashed out. Yeah, they don't want to have they don't want to have a conversation. They want to be in a chat. They want to be in a chat talking crazy. No, he don't want to. Son of Cool is the only person that I've been arguing with all night long, and he walked into he walked into the room disingenuous. He walked into the room and he already had an attitude about something. I'm very open with the conversation. He doesn't want to have a conversation. He just wants to speak without facts. So you came up. He says, "I don't care about anyone's color, only the content of their character." No, you lied about me, son of cool. You came in here and you were being no, I'm sorry. Let me stop. Son of cool, you came in here and you tried to insult me. I don't appreciate you coming to insult me. And I didn't insult you. That's what happened, right? Because I didn't pronounce your name right. Are you stupid? You can't read? You need glasses? You came in and you insulted me. That's insulting. So that's still you still don't come in and do that. He or she doesn't know me. And I'm a very cool, calm, and collected person. That's wild to me. You want come in a room and you're that ignorant for a person that you don't even know. That's wild to me. So what did you have to say to the topic of the situation? What happened? Hmm. Oh, yes. So what did you have on the subject? You right. Mm-hmm. So you understand. So you're saying, wait. You're saying to me, and I want to be clear, you're saying to me, Charlie said, why did we no, this is what he said. What he said was we never should have enacted the shit. I just went blank on it. We never should have enacted that policy. Uh civil, the civil right no, I'm sorry. We never should have enacted the Civil Rights Act. Do you know what the Civil Rights Act is? What? What is what does it do? No. What does it mean? It's to it's to end separation that was prevalent in this United States. It was to end segregation. People were allowed to go to Black people were allowed to go to school in white schools. White people were allowed to go to school in black schools. They didn't have they didn't have separate fountains. They had white fountains, they had black fountains. They had black. So why would you agree that that would be a good thing that Charlie said? So when did it not become right? There's nothing different about it. You can't discriminate. It's called discrimination. That's what it is. It's a law about discrimination. Hold on, hold on. That's what it is. It's a law. Hold how long hold on. How long you been on the internet? Because you sound just like why is it that every time I talk to people on here, y'all all say the same thing, which tells me you have been on this internet too long. If I talk to a group of people, they tell me DEI is bad. If I talk to another person, they tell me all women are bad. When I talk to another person, they tell me all a woman is going to do is take your money. I talk to another person and all they tell me is Charlie wasn't a racist when he was talking about my MLK. Have y'all all been on the internet all this time listening to this one particular person? I was born within that time frame. I was I was born. Hold on. I was born in that time frame. The Civil Rights Act was just that, an act that said you could not discriminate. based on color or race or anything else. And here is the thing. If you take it away, if you take it away, hold on, hold on. If you take it, hold on. If you take it away, then people can discriminate against you in any way, shape, or form. If I don't want to let Mexicans in the restaurant, I don't have to. If I don't want to let women into the restaurant, I don't have to. Wait a minute, hold on. You won't let me finish. Let me finish. Hold on. You have to listen. You can't just sit there and try to tell me what you know. I'm 30 years older than you, so I know a lot more. This this is what Civil Rights Act did. Civil Rights Act made it so you couldn't tell women they couldn't come into the restaurant. Civil Rights Act made it so you couldn't tell Mexican people that they couldn't come in the restaurant. Civil Rights Act, that is what it was. It's just an act. It's just something that says you can't do X, Y, and Z to discriminate against people. You cannot just take it away. It was a good thing because they were telling people that Asian people couldn't come in a restaurant. Asian people couldn't work here. Asian people couldn't go to school here. That's what a Civil Rights Act is. And when I hear somebody say, well, Charlie was advocating for Civil Rights Act not to be put into place, then you don't know what Civil Rights Act is then. Because the Civil Rights Act made the playing field even for people to do the things they need to do, to go to school, to go into restaurants, to be able to open businesses, to do all of these things. You can't just say, well, everything that came behind the Civil Rights Act, it was wrong. We never should have started the Civil Rights Act. Yes, we should. You can't advocate for that to be gone. If you understood what the Civil Rights Act stood for, you wouldn't be here trying to defend what Charlie said. That's indefensible. That's indefensible if you're a person of color. If you're not a white male, it's indefensible what you're saying because the Civil Rights Act benefited everybody else that was not a white male. Women couldn't do X, Y, and Z. Women couldn't get bank accounts. All of these things came under the Civil Rights Act. Charlie was defending, according to some people, white only stuff. If you take away the Civil Rights Act, then all of us, except white men, get to do X, Y, and Z. I know you're not up here trying to defend that, Amos. I know you're not trying to defend that. So now speak. What were you going to say? I'm just wondering whether you're up here trying to defend the indefensible. Mm-hmm. So you know about all of that. So you know about all that. So you're advocating they should take Civil Rights Act away. Hey man, hold on. Do you understand that there's systematic things? Mm, mm, mhm, mm, mhm, 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 mhm. See, the only hold on, wait, really, this is a quick question. So you're one of those people. You're one of those black people that don't see any kind of systematic. Wait a minute, hold on. You're one of those black people that don't see systematic racism as it being in place at all. You don't see any barriers. Right. Mm, mm, mhm, mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Right. 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 Mhm, mm, mm. I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link for somebody to come on the panel because they want to speak. And I thank you, Osmos. I thank you. Y'all got any kind of contradiction to Osmos? Jump on the panel if you feel like you're not going to be seen because I'm not pulling you up. I'm just going to add you to the thing and then you can talk. Okay. Thank you, Osmos. Your perspective. I'm old. Y'all keep saying, y'all keep telling me I'm old in the comments. So I'm just going to be old. Okay. Thank you, Osmos. I appreciate it. I ain't mean for you to get ghetto, brother. I'm sorry. Right. Okay. I dropped the link for whoever wanted to come up because he said he didn't want to do the phone thing. Okay. So yeah, a fried fish. Hey, fried fish. Is one fried fish. The difference is a white person murked a black person. Then we protested. This time, one of your white folks murked a white person. We have no need to burn down anything. Nothing. You're just dumb. Stop talking. Who is this? Okay. Did somebody who was that wait a minute, where was this at? Hold still, hold still. Okay. Ty,
What up, dog? HQ, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine. I can hear you just fine.
How you doing tonight?
Fine, thank you. You said you had a rebuttal to Amos.
I mean, everything he said was just regurgitating the same brainwash talking points. You know, that's why they always sound the same. You nailed it on the head. Every time you talk to him, they say the same. Even though he started getting ghetto and saying the N word and all of that, he wasn't making no point still because they for one they think that racism is the Klan. You know what I'm saying? The Klan ain't running around lynching dudes, so they can't be racist. And he's not even his lineage not even from here, so he don't have a full capacity of what American racism look like. And it's not like black people
Oh,
running around.
yeah. Well, I can hear you, but they can't hear you. Y'all
They
can't
talk,
hear them over here because you didn't go in the vertical. You came in the other one.
oh, I
They
came
can't
in the
hear you.
horizontal link.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I drop by down and use that one.
Hold on. He's in a different thing. He'll come out. He'll come over there. Right. If you wanna be able to be heard, you got to come in the vertical link. He's gonna come in the vertical. He was in a different. He was on a different thing. Okay. So my thing is this: it's fine and dandy, but if you don't believe that there's still systematic racism in the country, I don't care about the systematic racism. But there's a lot of people who still get held back because of that. Okay. Hold on. Here's Ty Pro. Here he is. That's okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I tried to explain it to them, but people don't get it. It's just like a gate. Did you hear my explanation? A gate that you let the animals through. You live on a farm and there's a big gate, two doors, two racks to the gate. You open up both racks and all of the cows and animals come through. But if you only leave one of those you only leave one of those doors open, that one door is stuck there permanently, and us black people know that there's one door stuck closed for us. The whole system is not opened up. They don't get that comparison, right? They don't get the comparison. I can't explain it any other way. We're not saying it. We're saying we don't hate white people. But you can, if you don't know that there's systematic racism, then it's a useless conversation because you don't understand that it's a systematic racism out there and it's still going on. People, just for example, people go and two people, they're the same except the races are different. Same income, same height, same car, same job, everything. The black person will go into the place to get an apartment, and they'll tell him they got to wait for him to figure out whether they can give it to him. The white person go in and they immediately give that white person the apartment. Oh, it's available. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those things happen today. It's in people's mind, and it's in people's mind. It's ingrained in the system. A lot of it is ingrained. Why do we go through the courts and we get harsher sentences than white people? Because it's systematic racism already. It's built into the fabric. It's people. Yeah, goof. Right. Hmm. 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 Right. Wait a minute, Frank. We don't think we're superior than anyone. That's what you don't get. Black people don't think they're superior. We just want to be on the same equal footing. White people think, a lot of white people think that they're superior. We don't think we're superior. We think we're on the same level as you. There's some people that are more outstanding than the other, but we don't think we're any better or any worse than any other race. That's the whole point. You don't get it. If you're a white male, if you're a white male, this country was made for you. Period. United States was made for you. Each other. Yes. Everybody has to keep striving. As long as we understand that there is systematic racism that's still there. No, it's not 70 years ago. It's still in place. You as a white man don't get that's the problem. You don't see it. As a white male, this world was made for you. Here in the United States, this world was made for you. That's it. That's all. We can't upseat you. We can't be prejudiced against you. We can't change none of that. None of that. But the thing is, we don't think all white people are racist. We don't think that. We think there's stuff in place, systematic stuff in place that makes it disproportionately disadvantaged to black people. And you white people know it, or you don't know it, or you're unconscious about it, and you don't do anything about it. That's the problem we have with white people. We're not racist against you. We don't want to end you. We don't want any of those things. Okay. Oh no, I know with which I'm talking. I understand with which I'm talking. I don't know what you young people are doing. I mean, that's my whole point. You don't see it. If you're a white male, you don't see it because you just walk around like everything is flowers and hunky dory. How do you think women felt, white women, white women felt walking around knowing that they couldn't vote, knowing they couldn't get a bank account, knowing they couldn't get in housing, knowing they couldn't leave their husband, they had to be married because they couldn't have a job. That was prejudice against women. Okay. This world was not meant for nobody but this country was not meant for anything but white males. You've always had the privilege to vote. You've always had the privilege to buy a house. You've always had the privilege to do everything that you wanted to do here. All the rest of us had to scrap and figure out how to get it done. That's my point. You never had to figure out, well, let me just go into a bank and get a bank account. Well, let me just go and buy a house. You never thought as a white male that maybe if I walk in here, they won't give it to me because I'm a different color. Maybe they'll walk in here because I got an accent, I might not be able to get it. You never once thought around this planet, in this country, whether somebody would give you something or not. That is the privilege. That's the white privilege. Because you never put yourself in a place and said to yourself, let me pretend like I'm a black woman today. Let me see how they treat a black woman today. You never thought. You never thought. And if you've never put yourself in the place of another race, of another thing, then you don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, I challenge every person. Put yourself in the place of a woman. You're a man. Look at the world through women's eyes. You're a man. You're a white man. Look at the world through a black man's eyes. Look at the world through a woman's eyes. And then tell me that you don't see what we're talking about. Okay. because you can't. Because as a white male, this world was made for you here in the United States. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Ty, I don't understand how you even fix your mouth to not think that's a racist statement that someone says, "Oh, I got to worry about whether he can fly the plane because he black." I don't understand how y'all don't think y'all didn't understand that that was a racist statement. Yes, we're permanent victims to monsters. We're permanent victims. Wait a minute. And the question is, here's a question for you, Frank. Have you ever had to sit your child down and tell your child that when a policeman pulls you over, then you need to keep your hands on the steering wheel, don't make any sudden moves, don't you have to have a talk with your child? Have you ever had to have that talk with your child? Mm, right, right. Mhm. No, I don't challenge Charlie Kirk about nothing he said. He was what he was. It was what it was. mm, 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 right. No, Natural KRC. I had a show about him yesterday. I talked about him yesterday. Trey Reed. Thank you, Natural KIC. Natural, hey, long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Don't let these people work your nerves. Racist behavior will forever be alive and well. I know. Hey, Type Pro, hashtag Natural Gang. Yes, we understand, but I want to have the conversation, but we can't get past if we don't agree about if we don't agree that there's a set of facts, right? If we don't agree that there's a set of facts, that there's systematic racism in our system, if we don't agree that there's systematic racism in our system, built into housing, built into prison networks, built into employment, if we don't agree that there's a certain amount of systematic racism in our system, then we always going to be talking about race. And you keep thinking we hate white people. We don't hate white people. We don't hate white people. We have a problem with you not addressing the systematic racism that you see every day. You all don't have to have conversations. You don't have conversations with your child. White people don't have conversations with their child about keeping your hands on the steering wheel when the police pull you over. Worried about coming home. Every day we put our children out into the car and send them off to school, and we don't know whether they're going to come back alive or not. For a trigger happy cop, a trigger happy Zimmerman. White folks don't have to worry about that because you walk around like doo doo doo, like doo doo doo. The world is all mine. But that's not how black people walk around the world. We walk around the world because there's things that happen in the world that we have to tell our children about that. Okay. And we focus on us. It's not a matter of being a victim. I don't know where y'all get this victim shit. What do they mean by victim? I don't understand what the hell they talking about. I don't understand. You bitch. You bitch. You need to do better. You bitch. You need to do better. Y'all want to get some pen? No, let me help you out. Let me help your trifling local. All of these centuries of the help of you being privileged, Jay, of you being the privileged white dude, and you still a piece of trash. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Right. Right. You're on the wrong platform, Black America. You're on the wrong platform. You got to come to the vertical. Oh, mm, mm, mm. Wow. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Ty. Thank you, Ty. This is wild. The whole point. This is wild. The whole point is you guys have to look at your backyard, and I get it. I get it. You want to look at my backyard. I get it too. Natural KRC, I talked about him yesterday. I talked about him yesterday. This is how see here, I was thinking about why it was okay for Charlie to talk the way he did. See, Charlie was talking the way he did because he was saying he was it was like he was getting in the face of the black people, telling the black people that you ain't no good, that you a nigga, that you stay in crime, that you shoot people, you kill people, you tearing up your neighborhood. He was the polite face of the white folks who wanted to be telling black folks what they was doing wrong. That's why everybody liked him, because Charlie telling the truth. Charlie is telling them black folks that they ain't no good. Charlie telling the black folks that they rob, steal, and kill, get an abortion. Charlie is the one telling them that we don't need to help y'all get no DEI. Charlie was the one telling y'all don't need no civil rights act. Y'all don't need none of that. This is why this is why they trying to deify Charlie, because they felt like Charlie was bringing it to the black folk. Tell the black folk that they ain't no good. Tell the black folk that they always in trouble. Tell the black folk that they need to get their shit together. Tell the black folk. That's why y'all like Charlie. Because Charlie was saying the things y'all wanted to say. Okay? Charlie was saying the things y'all wanted to say. Because so many people cared about what he said, and half the shit he was saying, half the things he was saying were racist in the way that he said it. And you know how I know I couldn't come to that conclusion. I kept trying to figure out the things he said, the things he said, the things he said, but I couldn't get past the one thing that he said. Everything else I can even overlook, I can look at, even though that's difficult to do. But the one thing I couldn't figure out is when he started to denigrate Michelle Obama and Joy Reid. He started to denigrate the black women. And when he said he didn't need to go any further than what he did, but he went too far. We don't think you got the brain power to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, that's exactly what we heard. Charlie was telling the truth. Charlie was taking it to them Negroes. Charlie was telling them Negroes that you need to stop sleeping around. You need to take care of your baby daddy. You need to stop being on welfare. You need to stop getting food stamps. You need to keep yourself in the home. You need some daddies in the house. That's exactly what Charlie was saying. And white people liked that. White people liked Charlie saying that. Because you can't seem to understand why the rest of us didn't like Charlie. Okay? For some reason, you all didn't understand why the other half that didn't like Charlie. You all only see your half. You all only see your half. No, I am completely devoid of racism. Completely devoid of it. No, I'm not superior in any way. In any way whatsoever. I'm just a regular, ordinary individual. And I'm a double minority. I'm a female and I'm black. Okay? But this is what I truly believe. That's why y'all like Charlie. Y'all liked him because he took the niggas to task. You niggas need to stay out of the neighborhood. You niggas need to stop shooting guns. You niggas need to be a baby daddy. You need to stay in the house. You niggas need to get a job. You niggas need to stop being lazy. So y'all like that shit. Y'all like when Charlie said that. Y'all liked it. And that in itself says something about you. That says something about you. That you couldn't see what this particular person said or didn't say that was uncomfortable to the rest of the people. He didn't make it uncomfortable for just black people. He made it uncomfortable for immigrants, for transgender, for gay people, for other white people. He made it uncomfortable for a lot of people. Frank, please grow up. I hate talking to individuals. I hate talking to immature people. I hate it. I hate it. I came on this internet and every time I turned around, whether I was in a relationship panel or I was in a political panel or I was in any panel, all I heard was talking points. All of y'all have the same talking point. Relationship talking points, political talking points, everything. Women ain't no good. Black people get welfare. Keisha don't take care of herself. Black men don't stay in the home. All of y'all have the same talking points. I can't stand it. Because what it means is you're all listening to the same rhetoric and you have no thinking caps on whatsoever. Because you know how I know? Because most of y'all say, just like Frank just said, you're a Democrat, so you're a demon. You're a Democrat, so you're evil. That's sad that you even came out of your mouth and said that, Frank. You're sad. Because if you don't see that it's an issue on both sides, then that's a problem. That's the problem right there. You think it's a Democrat thing. I think it's a Republican and a Democrat thing. That's the difference. That's what Frank thinks. Frank thinks I'm the devil because I'm a Democrat, because I'm a independent. Frank thinks I'm the devil. Frank thinks I'm toxic, but yet he's the one who's spewing talking points. All I'm saying is, please, you have to read, you have to get off here and do some critical thinking. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying nothing else. But if you had a point, okay, call, Black America, call. This is why I push back so much on these talking points. I push back so much on the talking points because every person says it. Now I will go to a panel or I'll go to a particular chat and all of the men will be saying the same thing. All of the men will be saying the same thing. And when I hear people say, you're a liberal, that means you only have two brain cells. Please, you only have two brain cells. If you think this is a liberal position, you only have two brain cells. If you think me being down the middle is a liberal thing. Hello? It's not up in that way. It's frustrating because people I went over example over example. No one can explain to me why race is still being brought up. I explained to the audience, why is race being still brought up? Race is being still brought up because there's still systematic things that are in play, and white people don't want to address those systematic things. And as long as they don't want to address the systematic things, we will always have racism and a problem in this country. That's all. That's all. Because there's systematic things that need to be addressed, and white people need to correct them. That's why. What do you mean? Am I trying to get people to care? Right. 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 Okay, then don't care about certain things. Then don't care about certain things. Yeah.